Big up Crosses TV.
Crosses TV, hold this. Crosses TV never drop the catch. What's the pre?
Stop. You gotta come on Instagram. I went live on purpose on 2 Let me know if you see. I got you right there. Let me switch camera. Hold on. Let me switch phones. Hold on. I knew that when I went over TikTok, they would have reported me live because they have a gang of people that they work with. But I'm going to tell them about the power so that they don't understand. So if you want to stay on TikTok, you can. I got 2 phones today. Hold on. Hi. You feeling?
Nerve-wracked, but it is what it is, you know. I feel
Well, I just want to, you don't know me and I don't know you. But first, I want to say thank you for just reaching out. Thank you for putting on a brave face. I also know that you are going to be nervous. You're going to feel, you know, sad and down. And it's taking a lot for you to do this. But I want to say thank you for being a voice for the voiceless, because that's what you're doing right now. You're being a hero. So to put on your brave face to come forward, I really, really want to say I respect that for you. And I'm with you. I'm here.
People, one for the youth, this is RT trouble.
I mean, I know everybody probably wondering why I'm choosing to speak up now. Because honestly, it's something that I have kept with myself for years. It wasn't until probably like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, that I told my mom about it, and I told her to kind of get it off my chest, because for me,
Yo,
it was
short
more so a
alive
lot
here.
of things that I was finally opening up to do. Like,
RT must go down.
long story short, basically,
What would you? You're awesome. Oh,
crying.
go ahead. Sorry.
Basically, I'll just start from when it happened, when I met him. I met him like around the beginning of 2016.
Who did you meet in 2016?
RT boss. So I met him around like 2016.
I don't know why the part makes much
And it was
noise.
like a group of people that I met along with him. Throughout that time, me and my mom and him got like close, because he was basically doing what he, claimed to do, like spiritually leading her. So the first incident that happened, we had went to Miami, but we had drove there. At the time, me and my mom, we couldn't fly there or fly back because of like personal reasons. With that being said, the person that drove us down there to drive us back, they basically started saying their car was acting up, so we were stuck down there. So at the time, she was cool with him, and she was explaining the story of how we were stuck down there. So he offered to come pick us up. He came in this, I think it was an SUV. It was like one of them eight-seater trucks. It was me, my mom, my sister, my best friend, and my sister's father. And he had came along with somebody else. Throughout the trip, like each time that we would stop, if I was sitting like in the back seat, he would come in the back seat. The next time.
What is going on? What is going on?
We stopped and I moved to the front.
My reporter live over this too.
No man, this not look safe.
It goes with them out. Open out the door.
Hello?
You're freezing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you froze up a while ago.
Sorry about that. What was the last thing?
You
What was the last
said
thing?
you were driving, you were on a trip. Every time you go in the back seat, you also come in the back seat.
Each time when I switched seats, he would switch seats too. One of the times we stopped at the gas station, he basically came in and he did it to me and my best friend. To where it's like, he pulled me to the side and was like, I'm feeling something in your spirit. I was just like, no, what are you talking about? Then he was basically proceeded to say, I know you're gay, and I know you don't want your family to know. At the time, I was like in the closet. I feel like everybody that has Caribbean parents know how it is coming up to Caribbean parents. So that was one of my biggest fears growing up. Like, with that being said, halfway through the trip, when the trip was finishing, I fell asleep and I woke up and
So,
like his hand.
how old were you? How old were you at that time?
I was around 17.
17.
I was around 17.
Okay.
I
don't know how
so
to.
then I woke up.
They're telling me to turn off the comments, but I don't know how to. How do I turn off the comments, guys?
Yeah.
I'm not
So the
sure.
thing. Guys, this is the man who RT
How do I
did
turn the
it
comments off?
too. So share out the live for me, please.
Okay.
This is something that, like, if I wanted to speak about this, I could have spoke about this before when it happened. I would have never waited years. My mother just found out 2 years ago. This happened in 2017.
Yeah.
So after that incident happened, I woke up and I seen his hands on me. It was kind of, I pushed him away, and it was like I stayed to myself the rest of the ride.
Just to be clear, you're saying he knew that he knew what you were,
Right.
and he come and try using it. So at the time, he knew what your family did not know.
Correct. With that being said, after that trip, I think we stopped at his house in Delaware, where I think we met his wife or whatever the case is. That day, he went about his way. We went back home, or whatever the case is. A couple months later, almost a year.
They said that you should clear it up. Were you 17 or 16? Because they heard at the time when you met him, you were 16.
I was turning 17.
Okay.
So, with that being said, and I said 2016 is when I met him and when I went on the trip.
Right.
The whole incident to where everything happened, it happened later on in 2017 because we seen him again. My mom was.
So he molested you in 2017, but you met him in 2016. But you're getting there to the story. We just want to clear that up.
Right. I'm just trying to explain
how
the little things that happened that led to.
Okay.
With that being said, there was an incident to where me and my mom, we fell out, and we was talking for like 6 months. One day I got called over to my mom's house because my mom we lived at 2 separate houses. Like, if you know, well, most people that know where I'm from in Brooklyn, where my family stayed at. So I got called over there. He was there. My mom was there. My best friend, a tattoo artist, was there. We was all getting tattoos. I didn't get one or whatever. That's the same time my best friend got a tattoo. My mom got a tattoo. With that being said, the night was getting low, and at the time, I guess he wasn't gonna drive back to Maryland or wherever he was staying at the time. So he was trying to find a hotel. With that being said, my mom asked me, which at the time she didn't know how I felt towards him, because after that first incident, I tried to make sure like I always stayed far. I ended up having to basically show him where the hotel was, or drive with him to go to the hotel, and he was supposed to basically Uber me back home. We live in Brooklyn, past the hotel in Brooklyn, and we ended up at a hotel in Queens. With that being said, when I got him to the hotel, I was like, okay, so am I going back home now? And he was like, no. As far as like the in-between conversations, like it wasn't much of it because it was nerve-wracking. It was like, I was told to drop your head. Me knowing how it was or whatever the case is, I necessarily didn't want to be around this dude at all. What made everything kind of transpire is because he told me that he was going to tell my family about me being gay. And for me and my family, that would have probably been the biggest, like, falling out. It would have been a issue. And at the time, I'm 17. I have nowhere to stay for my own, whatever the case is. With that being said, one thing led to the next, to where it's like I wasn't able to leave or get home until I did what he told me to do. Even straight
So
down
when you got to the hotel, you said you weren't able to leave?
Yeah, like we was in Queens at the time. Like my mom, she had gave him money because she was giving him money as well. So I was the one that had the funds on me.
So your mom gave him the money?
Correct. And let's just point out, like my mom at the time, still at that time, she didn't know anything that was happening. So one thing led to the next, to the point where it's like
Team arrested this man.
he did what he did, and I don't know why people would think that I'm lying, because for me to sit here and make up such a drastic story is ridiculous.
What did he do?
Even to the point.
You said he did what he did, but please tell the world what he did to you.
So he raped me, like he molested me. Like
It's gone to
it
black.
was to the point where it's like even before
This
he
is
started it,
serious.
he was trying to find a condom and couldn't find one, and he reached for a plastic bag.
Plastic bag.
What?
Like what?
I don't get how y'all just sit here and say shit like that. Like, first of all, my mom didn't know what was happening. My mom found out. My mom didn't even know I was gay. My mom didn't find out that I was gay until years after
God
the situation.
Almighty, man. God Almighty. The blood of Jesus is up against that man. May I tell you, hey, we said this is a spiritual warfare. I mean, I tell you this that about the devil, but the blood of Jesus is against that man. He helped you down and raped you.
And there's a few things that, so what made me kind of keep quiet about it, aside from my family or whatever the case is, it was like his way of trying to keep me quiet about the situation at the time. I think after the situation, he had sent my mother money to give to me. Like he just went on like it wasn't an issue. He was texting me, still trying to talk to me or whatever the case is. And it was just like, for me, I was just traumatized that it happened because, yeah, I'm gay, bisexual, but I didn't ask for this man to do what he did.
So he knew that you were gay or bisexual, and he took that to his advantage because you came from a Jamaican household, so he know you wouldn't want to talk about it.
He knew I didn't want to talk about it because when we was in that Miami trip and he pointed it out, the whole conversation that was had in that gas station was the fact that I did not want my family to know about it. I didn't tell my mother about it until a year and a half after I came out to my mother. I came out to my mother after COVID, the end of the 2020, 21. And then I didn't speak about that situation until after. And I just spoke about it because growing up, it was stuff to where my mom went through something like that. So when I felt comfortable enough, it was like she was the only person I could talk to about it. And I wasn't talking to her about it to sit here and go through all of this. I was talking to her to get it off my chest. See, everybody, if people know that my grandmother, my family that I come from, it is strict. Certain things they don't play with.
No, so I understand. People who's not from Jamaica may not understand what a Jamaica may come from. So I understand what you mean when you're saying you come from a strict family who would probably be against, who you are. So I understand, I get it. And that's why even me as a Jamaican woman who's always advocating and fighting for my fans who are gay, I'm happy you found comfort in me to want to talk to me about it.
And one of the reasons why I even choose to speak up about it now is because, like I said, I didn't want anyone to know. I wasn't ready to sit here and talk about this. When this came out, the person that called me was a family friend, and what she was speaking, it made it seem like she knew what happened. So I felt a little comfortable telling her, but I didn't know I was being recorded. I didn't know I was going to wake up to my voice all over social media.
Yeah,
I
that's a
didn't see any
mono.
accidents. I kept that shit to myself for years because I know how
Hi.
it is. Like, people speak up, and the first thing is I'm looking in the comments, it's like, yeah, I'm gay, but that don't mean that's the right for me to be molested or
It's not.
raped by somebody. Like,
It's not. It didn't give him any right to rape you. And I'm so sorry you went through that as a child. I'm so sorry.
My thing about it, while I'm speaking, even more while I'm speaking about it now, is because with that recording that's sent out against, because I did not sit there and know that she was recording me. So with that recording and everybody coming up with their own assumptions and dragging my sister and my mother in it, and it's just like, my mother really ain't know. The same people that you just paid to go see my grandmother didn't know until yesterday. I begged my mother not to say nothing because I didn't want to go through this. I'm a very quiet and reserved person, and this is a lot of attention for no reason. And not for no reason, but it's just like, I refuse to sit there and have what was done to me twist and turn and chopped and screwed when that wasn't how it is. He knew exactly what he did. And it's like, if he's doing it to other people, why is it so hard to believe that this is something that he did? Like, at the time, he was using my mother for money, so he kept her close. So he was making sure he was in her ear.
I want you to say that, just that one line again. He was using your mother for what?
He was using my mother for money. When she stopped sending the money, he got irritated. And that's around the same time when he was sitting there blasting and going off like...
That's what he goes around and do to people. He did the same thing to me.
Anybody that
realize that he's a liar and he's a manipulator. And
We're doing good. Thumbs up the live and share it
out. He wants to tarnish you. When he can't have his way with you, he try to tear you down.
And anybody that know me, I didn't do this. I'm not doing this for no recognition or no money. If that's the case, I would have did this when it happened. But everybody that know the family that I come from, my mother got money. My mother loaded. Same reason why he wanted to be around her. The same reason why he wanted to sit there and be close. I just don't like how it was approached because I feel like if that same person that recorded me would have just pulled me aside and called me and be like, yo, so he did this to a few other people. Like, you feel like you're ready to speak about it? Let me decide what I want to talk about. It's my pain. It's my trauma.
So you kept that pain and you didn't talk about it. It was until the recording that I played with the person that you didn't know.
I woke up and I seen the recording all over and people DMing me and this, that, and the third. And it's just like, where is this coming from? And this is exactly why most people don't get up and talk about certain stuff that they go through, because it's always like, you can't put a time when somebody's going to speak up on their trauma and when they was hurt, when they was put in a position where they, bro, like, and then knowing that you gay on top of it, ain't nobody gonna believe you, ain't nobody gonna sit there. Like, it took me a time to tell my mother, and
so why don't you go
it was
to
a
the
process
police?
because first I had to come out and tell her that I was gay. And I did that because I couldn't live with knowing that I don't like when things are used or held above me. Like, I understand what everybody was trying to do with the recordings and stuff like that. I just felt like I should have had the space to properly be able to do this and explain what it was because I wasn't ready. This recording surfaced months ago. I've been blocking and removing people from my page because my peace is getting disrupted. I had to move. I moved from New York to Florida. When this recording came out, it was in Florida, and when I figured out, somebody mentioned that he lives in Florida. Where you think I'm at now? I moved. The whole point is to stay away from this man, to stay off his radar. I have him blocked on everything for a reason.
What has your life been like after he did that to you? Why do you keep moving? Are you still afraid of him? Because I'm here to tell you. Let me tell you something. I'm here to tell you there's nothing to be afraid of. He's a liar. He's a scammer. He ain't no fucking Obia man. He can't do nothing. He's not talking to no spirit. There's one God. Do not let him put no fear into you.
Now that I'm
Don't
older,
make me put a fear into you.
now that I'm older, I realize what you're saying. But when I was younger, and him prophesizing certain things and predicting certain things or being right with certain things, it made me. Did he predict that you are going to get the strength one day to come out and talk to your truth? Did he predict this? I don't think he ever thought that I would have came out.
Okay. Don't let him tell you him can predict nothing because he couldn't predict his own future. He never predicts when him come out on social media and try to go up against me that all of this would have come back round at his footstep. He never predict this. He used what he... Because let me tell you something. I met that man as a pastor. I tell people this already and I don't know if they believe me. Meet him as a pastor Smith. And he came around me and he tried to manipulate people's mind. All of the people that is picking up for him, it's because the same thing he did to you, he's doing to them, which is telling them things that they believe it. Say, oh, you're my prophet, you can't see things I see in the future, I'm a spirit. You're my older man, I want him over me, so they might pick up for him. He uses that as his power. Don't make him make you feel like, say, if he be the presence of spirit, what make the spirit can't do nothing for him? Don't make him put a fear in you move up and down and fear that he can't do nothing to you. God is above mankind. You hear me? I've never been, I'm telling you, say.
People just gotta understand sometimes when it comes to certain things like this, there's a lot more that comes to it than just speaking out. It's the embarrassment that comes with it. It's the shame. It's the hate comments. It's people sitting there telling that you're lying. Like,
let me tell you something. I don't know you. I can see the hurt in your eyes. I can see the embarrassment, but there's nothing to be ashamed of because you were molested as a child. It was something that was taken from you. You didn't have control of it. It was nothing that you did to yourself. But now that you're older and now that you're wiser, now that you're a man, you know what I'm saying? Now you're speaking your truth and you're living in your truth. Don't stay home and make nobody make you sad and depressed. This is your truth. This is your story.
Shut
So I'm
up.
happy
Here,
that you were willing to tell
And
your
like up
story
that
for
video here,
yourself.
please and thanks. Top right hand
And
corner.
share it for the world
I'm
to
sorry
see.
that you didn't report it because people like that deserve to be off the streets.
if I would have said that then reported it, my whole family would have found out, and it would have been big. It's sad to say, and it's not a bash against my family, but they really do look at how they're viewed. So not only would it put me on the spotlight, but it would have put a spotlight on my family too.
So you want over there, 50th, 20th, somebody.
Literally, my grandmother didn't find out this until yesterday. The only person that knew was my mom, and the same person that reported it, me and my mom, was my mom's friend, and I really thought we were, for me to then open up to her about that, I thought we was on a different level. You know, I didn't expect for this to happen. This was not.
I'm proud of your, big up to your mom because I'm proud of your mom for supporting you, like for, you know what I'm saying?
From I told her she's made it easier living with that because it's easier to relate.
I feel like you still should report it. I feel like if you put it into the law's hand, they will be able to pull the footage from that hotel. I feel like you should still be able to report it.
Like these simple things like that, footage, camera, all of that can be pulled up.
Yes.
The thing that I don't have my other, like the phone that I had back then, I don't have it no more. So even the messages between us and stuff like that.
At the same time, you can see and hear the hurt. True, man, you can see same earth.
All of what you're saying, you may not be able to get it back, but once you start that case, everything will come full circle. The police have a way of finding everything. That's not even your worry. Your worry is to make that first move of reporting it.
Do it, boy.
Did it, man, did it must come down. Did it, did it must come down.
I just feel like it has to stop.
Yeah, man, it's a stop.
Multiple people are speaking about the same thing with this dude.
And people
And these are all the people that he's been around. You can't all be sitting there saying the same thing about the one person.
And there's so many other people who's afraid to come forward and speak.
I was scared too. I got forced to come out and speak. I wasn't ready to speak what happened. And I know that I guess I probably made you look bad, but it's what I went through.
Is that the time for the gay community
like,
to come
I
out
won't,
and
and
talk?
I'm not going to sit there and let everybody lie on or try to twist and turn what I've been through. Like, I have no reason to be sitting here and lying. These stories that everybody coming up with is real far-fetched. Because even as far as my mother in Jamaica, like, when me and my mother went to Jamaica, we wasn't dealing with this man. We stayed on a villa the whole time. It was me, my cousin, my sister, and my aunt that live in Jamaica. The second time when my mother went to Jamaica and she happened to glimpse him in Jamaica, I was living in Miami. She was there with my best friend. I wasn't even around her at the time.
What has your life been like after he molested you? Do you live in fear? Like, do you feel like...
I feel like
how are you mentally? How are you?
The fear part of it only comes when I find out that he's even... Like, if I find out that we're in the same state, it bothers me. If I find out that he has access to see my day-to-day, it bothers me. At the time, I couldn't really do nothing but push through. Like, at the end of the day, people that know me that regardless of what I go through, I'm going to still get up and still prosper and still push and do what I have to do.
RT molested you, so I'm just saying, I hope people who know you, and when they see you, they refer to you as a hero, because that's who you are. This, what you're doing, is brave. Ain't nobody gonna come out and put their face on social media and talk, say, oh, a man molested them. So RT molested you, I didn't feel live in a shame. You don't feel hold on your head and I live in a shame. He molested you. RT is the one that should be behind bars, be a rape you at your age. He's a pedophile. We tell people that and them talk about, oh, whatever, but you're living in your truth. Now you're a hero. For all the other people that did it, and I hope the other people that he did it to is willing to come out behind you and speak the truth, because of more than one person do it too. So don't make no man think you walk and live in a shame, and him should have live in a shame.
It's easier said than done.
So that's true.
But like,
that's true.
People don't understand when stuff like that happens, it plays with a part of you, because as a man, like, I'm supposed to stop things like that from happening. I'm supposed to be the person that's not the other way around.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for making it this far with that happening to you. And I don't feel like you should live in any shame for your truth. This is your story.
Triple one unexpected. Exactly what you say.
I want to keep you. I know today's Sunday. Do you want to say anything else before we go, or?
I just I like my peace. I don't like to be bothered, and I feel like having to talk about this repeatedly, having to go through this over and over again, it puts me back in that headspace. Like, at this point, I know what I need to do in order to deal with it. I just
Finally.
Nobody pushing or forcing me. Like, I want to move on my own speed, because it's mine. Like, nobody's not going to understand how I feel when I get up and I go to sleep. Like,
Well, thank you for being so brave. You made the first right move of openly want to talk about it. Because you know, when I live with it and I eat you out, and you know, RT is a monster. He's a demon.
And them soon in a
You are not that person. He must live with him, demon. He's the devil himself from the pit of hell. So do not let that man let you live in fear.
This
And I'm
man
proud of
need
you. I know you don't want to
protection
even break
from
down on
some
social media because you
FBI or
told me you don't want
something.
to. But
Simone,
again,
him look
I
scared
love
for
you.
true.
I don't look at you any different or any less. I love you equally, just the same as would I love any of my other besties or stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here for you. Now you have my number, so we will talk. About publicly, I just want to tell you that you are brave. Like anybody see you, that's the energy that they need to give you for being brave to come out and be a voice for the voiceless.
I appreciate it.
I'll call you after this, all right?
All right.
Thank you.
Spice. Janu Star. RT Lion. Mighty God of Daniel. I stand with him. I read what the comments are say for Spice.
There's someone on TikTok named Unuh or Beno, I think.
Thank you.
Never met him either. But I'm going to choose my platform. I'm going to advocate. I have a platform that you wanted. You
If
are
you know what she talk about, go up our channel, go back down and you see him.
But never use it and do God work. You wanted my platform? Okay.
Jump
And now
scare
you're getting it.
out.
Look at
Psalms
God.
140.
Just look at God.
Look at God working.
TikTok, God damn, 4,800 hours on the see and look on the whole story. Long them, big up yourself. Pretty down my boss, Oiko. Big up yourself. Right, there's some blank day that you need to go live with too. Come see I'm there on TikTok and say, RT, I tell you if you say you're there with me, you never meet me yet. Me only glad people see, say there's a God and see everything on the truth full circle. And see say he's a liar and he's a wicked. So all of the people that was still up talk about, oh, RT, I want RT because we're not living in fear. We don't need to stop it because of God. Okay? Remember say one God. I can't say that this thing for a true thing. I think that's how this thing I go. All the world living in fear because of this man. Remember say, God is a jealous God. There is only one God and a two God and a three God. So you can't say that man manipulate, you know. So you can't say that. Me ever do it, you know. A man run out and try to tarnish me and him tell lie and him spin and him go, but we live to see with the two eye. Say God is above man. That me I tell you now. What's the name of that? I just want to big him up. I just want to say I am proud of him. I don't care when another one say because someone on the internet you know hypocrite. You know hypocrite and you know want to talk the truth and when you see the truth in front of you, you know want to talk it to not hypocrite.
Boy.
Boy is a hero. Whether you don't want to say someone that talk about gay, this and gay, that is not the point of the story. That's not the point of the story.
all the people are RT read up.
They are not. The little boy was molested. So because he was molested by a man and him again, we don't look at it the same. Graping is wrong. Man or woman. You know, when you have me on the internet and you talk about we change the story with Danger because when it did happen to Danger, she did take side with. As a woman, we never take side with the man. And me tell her, say, come report it. Same thing when I tell that person, it needs to be reported. Me tell her to report it and she never report it. She never report it. Me take my mouth and publicly step on internet and me tell her, say, you never report it. And if you rape you, me say, if your baby father rape you, to go to prison. That me tell her,
RT did
and she never report it.
I never say really use bag.
No, when evidence nothing, she left it, she never reported it, and when the story come out, she act as she turned on for me, like me, rape her, like I made a something to her. So
You
now,
serious?
pick and choose the side.
Let's go on live
You're
for the
talking
video.
as it is. Truth is truth. Somebody said, we know why she don't want to report it. The truth is the truth. We don't care who do it. So that's why when she switch her story, me switch my story to come here and say, but the man brave here, you know, have a problem. You notice what the man do? That the guy will just come out. He attack him accuser. Oh, the man break you and you attack me. Let Forbes is a hero. Let Forbes, him is a hero and it should be addressed as such. We're not supposed to see Le Forbes in the street and make him a walk with his head down. We're not be proud of that man. You know how much it take out of him to come talk a while ago for his in public space? You know how much it take out of Le Forbes a while ago to come out and speak with him face and his image. One of plaster all over social media. Make sure when you put this up and put up the boy where I talk. When you talk the Le Forbes, he is a hero. Well, come out and defend so much of our boys that's being molested. And it's happening within the now the home and somehow they don't want to talk about it. It's happening in the home and we don't want to talk about it because we live in this shame. Repeat anybody will come from LGBTQ who don't put this shame on them. Like God who the phone life to live and God give them for them life to live. When God come, God now ask you, oh your brother, your this or your that. God ask you about you so you can't live your life for other people. So if a man take up his own life and choose to be from the LGBT community, that's a field problem. That is not your problem. I saw it turn down for me when they go perform for my fans them. And I go ask how me to go perform a certain place. Like that I go ask me about them or no. But let everybody have their own life to live. So the number that comes to the boy and talk about say, oh, if you walk around. No, that is how the man, it happened to him when he is a boy and now he is a man. And he might do manly things. You know how much it take out of him? You know how embarrassing it probably is? You know how it probably come off of this and then woman cry right now?
Yes, rats.
Someone said if he continue to live as gays because he was. It's not right, it's wrong. And all of the people that were supporting supposed to be shame on themselves. And this police system you want to have a come talk about when things they report 24 hours fuckery. A foolishness. Somebody said the man is brave indeed, he's traumatized, it's traumatizing. We don't need to change the law and stop talking about when somebody no report something within 24 hours nothing can happen again. Them a case that we look into. Them a put the people that forgot pull up the Mr. When the little boy tell me this morning, me I tell him me in a pain. Me in a tears. Yeah. He is brave. Of course he's brave. Somebody say him still can't report it. Or they pull murder case on 30 years after. Of course.